Hello, this is a Red Mage up to level 60 guy. This is Shadowbringers 5.1. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell for future content. Let's start this off at level 52. We get Moulinet. Delivers an attack of the opponents. You have 60 to all enemies in your cone before you. It is instant cast with a weapon skill cooldown. Action upgraded to Enchanted Moulinet if both black and white mana are at 20 or more. It does damage at a very wide cone. Make sure you do not get too close. Level 54, we get Vercure, restores target's HP, your opponents you have 350. This is a spell with a global cooldown, and it has a very high MP cost for its spell usage on the Red Mage. This being a spell, it also triggers your dual cast. You can use this in a number of ways, both AoE and single targets. If the fight drags on too long, try not to spam this, as it will eat your mana quickly.
Contre Sixte.
Level 56 delivers an attack to target and all enemies nearby with opponents you have 380 for first enemy and 50% less for all remaining enemies. So it's 380 for one and then 190 for the rest of them. It is instant cast with 45-second off goal. And of course, careful for you inspiring Palace of the Dead and Heaven on High Red Mage Soloist. This guy will hit pretty much mobs around a specific area, as you can see there. Level 58, we get Embolden, increases own magic damage dealt by 10%, keyword is magic damage, and physical damage dealt by nearby party members by 10%. Both effects are reduced by 20% every 4 seconds, so they deteriorate rather quickly. Duration of 20 seconds, it is instant cast with 120-second off global. Now, keyword is magic damage. Anytime you have an enchanted version of your weapon skills, that means you're able to cast magic damage, you know, the unexpected damage version of it. Once these guys are no longer red, you're no longer going to do magic damage with them, so you may as well just disregard that. The best time to use your Embolden is right as you hit your 80 or roughly anywhere close to 80 or through 100. So around that area that you're about to use your enchanted melee or your enchanted Moulinet. Go ahead and pop my Embolden. We're going to do 2 Moulinets. So that was damage bonus, and then we're going to do 2 of these single targets. So now that they've basically turned blue, now we're doing physical damage. Level 60, we get Manafication, doubles current black mana and white mana levels. Additional effect resets your corpse and displacement recast timer. All combos are cancelled upon execution of Manafication, meaning all your weapon skill combos. It is instant cast with 120-second off global. If Manafication is available, try to keep your white and black mana at roughly 40-45. Just try not to get too close to 50. So this is going to be your single target rotation. Again, you can do the light or dark however you want. We're going to start off with Vercure into Swift Cast, Acceleration. Let's do the Ver Arrow and then Ver Thunder, or you can do the opposite for you as well. We're just going to do it this way for me instead. We're going to do Displacement right afterwards. We're going to do Ver Stone, Ver Arrow, and then we're going to do Contre Sixte, Fletch. Let's toss the Ver Fire, Ver Thunder. Let's toss the Lucid Dreaming into the Corpse. Let's go ahead and toss the Ver Stone into the Ver Thunder. Immediate Manafication, Embolden. We're going to do the single targets. Melee of Enchanted Repose. We're going to toss a Corpse into the Swordchill Enchanted Redoublement into Displacement. So at this point, the Red Mage rotation is still pretty much going the single target anyways. Right after our Displacement, we're basically how I'm going to do this is I'm going to completely ignore Ver Stone, Ver Fire, the procs, unless I have my my acceleration up. So I don't screw you guys in your rotation. Naturally, you won't have these guys proc every single time. They are 50%. So we're going to start off with our continuation from the Displacement. We're going to toss the Jolt, or at least your version of Jolt. And then we're going to do the Ver Arrow. Then we're going to go back and do the Ver Thunder. Right around this time, you can toss your Fletch. So let's go back and do the Ver Arrow. So it's light, dark, or dark, light. And right around this time, let's do the Contre Sixte. So we're basically just going to keep doing that light, dark. Just make sure you're balancing your white and black mana. So right after the second dark, we're going to toss our acceleration into the swift cast, and from here we're basically just going to start all over from the opener. Alright guys, pay attention real quick. We're going to go through the meaning of a rotation changes when it comes to AoE. So when we have more than 3 targets or 3 targets or more, we're generally just going to do our Ver Arrow 2, Ver Thunder 2 into the general scatter, or whichever version you have. Once we're down to 2 targets, however, we're going to instead toss our Ver Arrow 2, Ver Thunder 2 into the Ver Arrow, Ver Thunder. These guys are going to do 350 potency, and if you're at 2 targets, your scatter, which should do 120 at that level, will only do 240 potency at 2 targets. So these guys will do much more damage. Once you're down to a single target, then you're going to completely ignore Ver Arrow 2 and Ver Thunder 2, and you're just going to use your version of Jolt, since it will do 180 potency. And then just go straight with Jolt into Ver Thunder, Ver Arrow. And yes, don't worry too much about this stuff. It's mostly level 60. Level 60 is like a very strange phenomenon that happens to Red Mage. You get the Manafication and Embolden. Other than that, the rotation is kind of funky, especially the AoE. As you start to kill mobs, your rotation slightly changes. Don't worry too much about that stuff. As soon as you hit 62, things get much simpler. But enough about that stuff. Let's go ahead and start our AoE rotations. Generally, while the tank is moving, it's trying to grab mobs. So you're typically going to use this rotation in dungeons only, unless for whatever reason you have to kill adds in a raid encounter. But this is mostly for dungeon use. So we're going to basically spam Moulinet till the tank has basically situationed, hunkered down with all the mobs. You can spam Moulinet, or you can toss the swift cast first. It's really up to you, but we're going to swift cast into our scatter, or your version of scatter. So we're just going to use our Moulinets, spam it however many ways you need to spam it, till the tank has basically hunkered down in a certain situation. Just make sure you're always on global cooldown. It's basically the whole point of this. So we're going to swift cast into that scatter, and then we're going to do our Contre Sixte into the fletch. Make sure you're using this as an off global. You can go ahead and toss your light or your dark. We're going to start with light. Personally, I always like to use light for this. So we're going to do a Ver Arrow into our scatter. Then we're going to displace. We're going to go back and do our Thunder instead. This time we're going to scatter into the corpse. Now we're just going to go back, light and dark, light and dark. So let's do light first and then dark. That was the second dark, so we're going to do light for the third time. Right after that scatter, you're typically going to toss that fletch. Let's go ahead and do the dark. And now we're going to do our Manafication. Remember, we're at 42. We don't want to go too close to 50. So we're going to toss that Manafication, Embolden. We're going to do that first Moulinet, the enhanced Moulinet, and then we're going to toss the corpse. We're going to do that second Moulinet into the Contre Sixte. Now, while you're doing these Moulinets, make sure you don't get too close to the mob sets. You're going to toss that last 2 Moulinets into the displacement. Now, at this point, you can just go ahead and restart the rotation and just tossing out your Ver Arrow or Ver Thunder 2s. Just make sure that when you do get in there, you don't get too close to the mobs because of Moulinet's area of effect. You definitely don't want to miss out on those because these guys do 200 potency, not 60. Alright, so this is going to be a Red Mage up to level 60 dungeon example. Let's get some music going here. See what dungeon this is. So we got the Lost City of Amdapor Hard. Now again, make sure you're doing something while the tank is pulling mobs. Let's go ahead and do the AoE rotation first. It's not going to be perfect to the book because I often forget. Not exactly perfect at this. I'm definitely not the best. Let's get it. Let's get this stuff over done with. I'm still leveling up, so let's go ahead and toss one of these. I don't think I'll get much experience for them, but who knows. Right now we don't really have any way to do on-the-move damage to a single target, so I'm just gonna do my Moulinet. At least I'll be doing some damage. I can toss my my Fletch. It's a single target. I think that's all the tank is going to do. It's okay, let's go ahead and do my AoE here. Remember, 2 targets, you're going to do your Arrow over Thunder 2, but then you're going to finish it off with your regular ones. Down to a single target, so it's pretty simple. Oh, didn't mean to do that. So again, just make sure you do stuff. Typically don't do this stuff during raid encounters, but just make sure you're hitting stuff. If you're starting to gain aggro, just focus on something else. Alright, we got Swift Cast here. Let me get out of that. Okay, let me get another set going. I'm over 50, so this is one of the issues of Manafication. Once you've hit over 50, it's highly recommended you don't. You just skip it, and you get it once you're on the way back. It's more efficient towards the AoE because you can always just burn, as you can see here. The tank doesn't want to go any further. 2 targets, now a single target, so things die pretty quickly. I can't really show you guys a nice rotation for the AoE, but it is what it is. AoE is pretty damn brainless, honestly. Let me get my Vercure going. So if you have Burst Fire, toss it again. If you have both of them active, you get that fire again. Come on. Fire. Before it expires. Get the Holy. Get the Burst Stone, I mean. Into a Burst Stone again. They keep proccing. That's good stuff. It's more damage. Burst Stone again. Nope, I'm over the limit, so we're going to skip Manafication again. No procs. Good, they're getting the mechanics. That's fantastic. Come on. Let's get the first stone on this guy. Oh, I didn't even notice the boss's health died. Oh well. Well, this is a pretty good example for Red Mage. Just make sure that you're constantly balancing out your light and dark. Toss out those Vercures right before the boss fight. So you can immediately toss out a Strengthen, Ver Arrow, Ver Thunder. And the only issue is Manafication. This is basically the make or break for Red Mage rotations, especially in the single targets. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. It's just a bit constricting. You guys have a good one. We'll see you guys next time.